Hi, this is Kara from KB Crochet, and this is the second lesson in my tutorial series on how to crochet. In this lesson, we're going to talk about how to join the yarn or attach the yarn to the hook using a slip stitch and how to do a basic chain. To attach the yarn to the hook, you're going to have the yarn end in your right hand, and you'll have the side of the yarn that's attached to the ball or the skein in your left. You're going to take your right hand and loop the yarn over top of the part you're holding with your left hand. Now you're going to want to make sure you leave a long enough end so that you have plenty of room to weave that in when you're done with your project. You don't want your project to unravel from the beginning. You're then going to insert your hook into that loop that you've made, and you're going to pull that tail through, but not all the way. Just a little loop there. And you're going to take both ends that you're holding and pull it tight. After that, you're going to take the tail end and pull your loop tighter on your chain. You don't want to pull it too tight or you won't be able to get your stitches through. You also don't want it to be too loose or your chains won't work for your future stitches. It won't be a very good foundation. Let's do that again. So you have the end of your yarn here, and you have the side that's attached to the ball or the skein in your left. You're going to take the end and loop it over, making sure you leave a long enough tail to weave in. You'll then insert your hook through the loop and pull the tail through, making another loop. You'll then take both ends and pull them tight. And then you'll pull that loop smaller by pulling the end down. And now your yarn is attached to your hook. After that, you're going to start your foundation. And for most projects, you're going to start your foundation by chaining. Now, each pattern or project is going to give you a certain number of chains that you need to start with. And to do the chain, first let's talk about how you're going to hold your yarn. When you're crocheting, I hold my yarn by putting it through my pinky and my ring finger, and then again through my index finger and my middle finger. I then use my middle finger and my index finger to control the tension or how tight my yarn is. And that's something you'll have to work at. When you're first starting, it feels really uncomfortable and it feels like the yarn is too loose. And you're going to hold what you're crocheting with that left hand as well. To chain, you're then going to take the hook and pushing the yarn away from you, you'll pull up the yarn and pull it through that first loop, making a second loop. You'll then repeat that for as many chains as you need. So let's review that again. Starting from when you have your first loop on the hook, then going to put your yarn through your pinky finger and your ring finger, and then again through your index finger and your middle finger so that it's over top of your index finger. You'll push the yarn away from you with the hook and pull it through. And you'll then repeat that stitch for as many chains as you need. Now there are some alternative ways to hold your yarn. One way that people do hold their yarn when they are chaining is to have it just through their two fingers. So you'll have it through those two fingers that you usually use, and the yarn will just be over top of your hand, and then you can just simply pull it through. I think this way is a lot easier, but only after you've had some practice. When I was first learning, I couldn't really control the tension very well. Even now it's kind of hard to do this slower so you can see what I'm doing. But you'll see how much faster you can just pull the yarn through when you hold it this way. So before you start your next stitches, you're going to want to practice making some chains. And again, this will be the foundation for almost every project that you do, especially if it's something that's going to be in a square shape or a rectangle shape or any shape like a scarf or an afghan or any of those commonly made articles. Now, if you're starting something that's round, you may have a different way to start, but we'll go over that in a later lesson. For now, you should just practice making chains, either holding the yarn this way or this way, until you feel very comfortable with this stitch. Now, one thing you're going to want to check is to see how even your chains are. You don't want to have several large chains followed by little itty bitty tight chains. You want to try and make them even so that when you go to do your stitches, everything looks even along your foundation row. Thank you, good luck, and happy crocheting!